Inwarata no Sahai. Istiba Abibude, and I'm so elated to come your way today and add premium value to your day, especially as a career person, a business person, and even someone that is into NGO area. Inwarata no Sahai is my name one more time. And you know, we have been on the trajectory of driving workplace productivity with emotional intelligence, and we are presently on the third component, the third pillar of emotional intelligence, which is motivation. First of all, remember that emotional intelligence is being smart with how to manage your emotions and also being smart with managing the emotion of other people. When you zero that on the workplace, emotional intelligence for you as a leader or as a boss in the workplace is your ability to ensure workplace emotional stability with the knowledge of how to manage your emotions and also the knowledge of how to manage your employees or of your team members. This is very important. And like I've said on this series, you know, emotional intelligence has five pillars. It has five components. We have self-awareness, we have self-regulation, we have motivation, we have empathy, and we have social awareness. And at the moment, we are on the emotional intelligence component of motivation. Now, emotional intelligence component of motivation is not about the extrinsic factors of salaries, of promotion and allowances, as important as they are. Emotional intelligence component of motivation is not about, you know, you just enjoy bonuses and enjoying all the financial benefit that has to do with your work. Now, those factors are good. Those factors are important, you know, but they are unable to sustain long-term employee engagement. Then emotional intelligence component of motivation actually focus on intrinsic factors of purpose. The ability to connect work to purpose, connect work to a sense of meaning. Emotional intelligence component of motivation focus on that desire for excellence. It focuses on that desire for growth. It focuses on that desire to make a positive difference. And this is very, very important for you as a leader, being able to tie the work of your team members, tie their tasks to purpose. Very, very important. And as a way of bringing this to light, we are going to use a case scenario, you know, of a government-owned secondary school, you know, in Nigeria. To bring this to light, we see how the leaders of that particular government-owned secondary school was able to manage the crisis and brought in the emotional intelligence component of motivation to resolve the matter. The case scenario is emotional intelligence motivation in a public secondary school during a crisis. Remember, I just told you that emotional intelligence component of motivation is critically about connecting work to purpose. Is about having the desire for growth. It is about having the desire to take responsibility even when supervisors are not present. We are looking at a case scenario to bring this to light, and that case scenario is emotional intelligence motivation in a public secondary school during a crisis. It goes thus. Toward the end of the second term of the 2024-2025 academic calendar, a major crisis erupted in a government-owned secondary school in a Nigerian state. A sudden delay in the release of operational funds affected several school activities. Essential supplies for practical classes became scarce. Routine maintenance slowed down, and teachers became discouraged because some welfare commitments earlier promised by the school management could not be immediately fulfilled. As the school prepared to enter the third term, a very critical period for students preparing for external exams, the atmosphere in the school became tense. Many teachers felt frustrated and demotivated. Some began to reduce their extra academic support for students, while others quietly complained that the effort they invested in their work was not being matched by adequate support from authorities. Sensing the emotional climate of the staff, now this is the leadership of the school taking responsibility to see that, you know, the situation is well managed, and they are bringing in the emotional intelligence component of motivation. Remember, I told you that emotional intelligence component of motivation is about tying and connecting work to purpose, and this was exactly what the management of this particular government-owned secondary school in Nigeria did during this crisis. Let me continue. Sensing the emotional climate of the staff, the leadership of the school called an emergency meeting with teachers and key non-teaching staff. Rather than focusing on blame or excuses, The leadership acknowledged the reality of the situation and openly shared the constraints affecting the school. They reassured staff members that while external support might take time to arrive, the mission of preparing the student for success must not be compromised. This is the management of the school gradually bringing in purpose, but gradually bringing in the value that work adds to the society, the value that work adds to life, the difference that work adds to life. This is what the emotional intelligence component of motivation is all about. Remember, I told you it is not just all about salaries, it's not all about bonuses, it's not just about allowances, but ensuring that work is connected to purpose. Work is connected to the value that people or employees add to life and add to the society. Work is connected to meaning. I continue with the case scenario. The leadership then shifted the conversation from frustration to purpose. They reminded the staff that many of the students came from modest backgrounds and relied heavily on the school for academic guidance and moral direction. They emphasized that the third term would determine the future of many final year students sitting for external examinations, and that the commitment of the teachers during this period could shape those students' life opportunities, connecting work to purpose, connecting work to meaning, connecting work to making a positive difference in the life of people, making positive impact in the life of people. In this case here, students. Now, the case scenario continues. To reinforce this sense of purpose, the leadership introduced voluntary academic support initiatives. Teachers were encouraged, but not compelled, to organize short revision clinics after school hours on selected weekends and on selected weekends. Surprisingly, many teachers responded positively. Some offered to mentor weaker students in small groups, while others collaborated to share teaching materials and lesson plans. Although the financial situation had not immediately improved, the emotional atmosphere in the school began to change. Teachers started taking pride in their collective effort to ensure that the students did not suffer academically because of the temporary crisis. The leadership continuously appreciated the staff publicly during meetings and assemblies, very, very important, highlighting stories of dedication and sacrifice. By the end of the third term, the school recorded strong examination outcomes. More importantly, the staff developed a renewed sense of professional pride and unity. This is what connecting work to purpose can achieve. What could have become a period of disengagement was transformed into a demonstration of commitment driven by purpose rather than external rewards. Like I said from the very beginning, the emotional intelligence component of motivation is not just about extrinsic rewards, it's about intrinsic, factor of purpose, of meaning, of being able to making a positive difference. Now, as we move towards the conclusion of this segment of the program, we are going to see 3 emotional intelligence motivation lessons for leaders from this case scenario. Number 1 lesson: purpose sustains motivation when external rewards are limited. Purpose sustains motivation when external rewards are limited. Remember, emotional intelligence component of motivation is about connecting work to purpose, and if you're able to do that as a leader, you will sustain motivation even when external rewards are limited. Then number 2, transparency builds emotional trust. Now, the management of the school, they were very transparent about the situation of the school, the financial situation of the school, and as a result of that, they were able to win the commitment and dedication of the teachers. When leaders communicate transparently during difficult periods, employees feel respected and are more willing to support collective goals. Then the third lesson from this case scenario is that recognition strengthens intrinsic motivation. And this was exactly what the management of the school did. They recognized the effort, they recognized the commitment of the staff, even during crisis period. Although financial rewards were not immediately available, the leadership consistently recognized and celebrated the extra efforts of teachers. Public appreciation reinforced their sense of value and professional pride. Recognition can often motivate people more deeply than material rewards because it affirms their contribution and identity. Very important. This case scenario demonstrates that the emotional intelligence component of motivation is fundamentally about inspiring people through meaning, that is purpose, connecting work to purpose. trust and recognition, especially when circumstances make external rewards difficult to provide. So as leaders, it is very important, wherever sphere of life or industry you are in, understand that one way that you can drive intrinsic motivation in your people is to connect their work to purpose, to connect their work to making a difference, especially in situations where, you know, they say when all things are equal. Remember, all things are never equal, and all things are more unequal in the Nigerian environment. So you as a leader, be intelligent enough, be smart enough to be able to imbibe this emotional intelligence component of motivation, which is the third pillar of emotional intelligence, to be able to see that you connect the work of your team members, connect the work of your people to purpose, connect it to meaning and the ability to make a difference, and then we are able to, you know, ensure that you get that desired engagement and commitment from them. I believe lots of value have been added to you today. I know you want to ask questions concerning this topic on emotional intelligence. My email is inuarata@gmail.com. Send your questions, send your inquiries, and then I'm able to provide answers to you, you know, and be able to take things to the next level. That's the email on the screen, inuarata@gmail.com. And when I come again next week, Wednesday, my name will not change. It will still remain Inuarata No Sahai. Your day is so blessed. Thank you.